everyone, welcome to the last podcast of the year. This is Michelle from Heartpanorama, and today I have my guest Annie back again. You know her?
Hello,
Annie.
everyone.
You're back. It's good.
Yay!
And as a treat for everyone, we have a very interesting topic because I think a lot of people are waiting for our opinion of season 2 of Miraculous. And that's why today we're going to do a short roundup and also review of season 2 because it is already done in most countries. So about a year ago, I already recorded a few reviews of season 2 episodes, and those of you who follow me already know what I think of those first episodes. So now that we already watched the whole season 2, we can summarize our opinion of all the episodes. In my opinion, the whole season was an improvement in comparison to season 1. For example, the animation. I think that's the aspect that we notice at first when we watched the series. Yeah. And I think there were a few mistakes in the first episodes, but I didn't notice any bigger mistakes later in the series, so it might be that they actually also improved it during the series.
A lot, yeah. I think in the last episodes, you could appreciate the animation like, I don't know, like magic to your eyes or something. Comparing them with, I think the one that I remember had the most mistakes was La Befana. Because, I don't know, I think at the end, when Adrian gives the bracelet to Marinette, it looks kind of creepy somehow. And I think the hair of Alex, I think it was gray or something. And yeah. But overall, compared to season 1, it improved a lot. Because in season 1, in The Gamer, and there is another episode. It was Illustrator, because when they're fighting Illustrator at the hotel, it looks kind of odd, in my opinion. So, yeah, it improved like truly a lot in so many ways.
Yeah, I also remember when I did my review of the Christmas special, where I also said, I think Adrian's hair looks shiny or something, or shinier than normally. And I realized that it was the same in season 2. So I think that's something they improved in season 2 in general, because
I think they made it like clearer, like whiter, I don't know, and not so yellow.
Yeah, and maybe more detailed also, because the other characters also had a clearer appearance, I think.
Yes, indeed. So, starting with season 2, I think it had a very, very like incredibly strong beginning, because all the questions we had when season 1 ended, they were answered like right in the moment in season 2. Like we're joking around. This is what happens. He is Hawkmoth, and like you can all shut up. And that was, I don't know, for me it was mind-blowing, because I wasn't expecting that much for, the beginning.
Yeah, I also thought that in season 2, actually every single episode brought something to the plot development or character development. So no episode was really a filler, and especially the one you mentioned, the first one of the season, Collector, brought so many new information. And you had to think about them first and realize,
analyze them.
Oh, that's
afterwards.
happening.
Yeah.
And also the episode somehow closed the arc that was started in season 1. And I feel like in season 2, the new adventure started, because now we knew that Gabriel is actually Hawkmoth. We don't have to wonder about it anymore. And we gradually got more information about his plans and about the different powers and just about everything in season 2 in each episode.
Yeah, definitely. we had the chance to explore his background story, and I'm curious about how he found the Miraculouses, and how, you know, also the book, and how come he knew and he read and everything, and what actually happened to Emily. And you know, that was also a big question everyone had. Where was she? Was she dead? Is she, you know? And honestly, I don't think she's dead. I think she's kind of like in a coma thing.
Like Snow White or something.
Yeah.
Under a spell or something.
Because, you know, if she was dead, then she would be, I think my theory is that she would be decomposing. So she wouldn't be able to be down there. But also it's sad that he hides that from Adrian, you know, that's like heartbreaking, while Adrian's like, you know, missing her. Other thing about Gabriel is how he's so protective with Nero, because he even created this force field in the wall where he doesn't let him go. You know, like Kwame, you know, that's too, I don't know if it's possessive or too creepy,
maybe it's also a bit paranoid because he's afraid that his Kwame is going to run away.
Please. Yeah, true.
About the protective part, I also found it interesting how protective he was of Adrian, because I think in season 1 we always thought he's just evil, and even if we assumed that Gabriel was Hawkmoth back then, we thought, okay, he's such a bad father. And I was also wondering, for example, in Jacadi, or I think in English it's Simon Says, where he looks at Chat Noir's ring, and I was thinking, oh no, he's suspecting it. He already knows that this is Adrian, because he also saw Adrian's ring, and I thought he made the connection. And it's interesting that in season 1 he does suspect it, but then he later is convinced that Adrian isn't Chat Noir, because in Gorizilla he sees the Adrian who's actually not Adrian. And Chat Noir at the same on the same place, and he's like, okay, no, my son is not Chat Noir. So I think he was also relieved at that point. So I think it's interesting to see the different sides of him and see that he's not pure evil, but he has a reason for his actions. But, you know, there's always another way, but at least we know now why he's doing what he's doing.
I think it's fear what drives him to do that. All of us assume that in Jacadi, or Simon Says, he like already knew, but we didn't see it until Godzilla, that he actually makes the comparison, and we were all like, oh, and yeah. But also I remember how Adrian or Chat Noir had the same like reaction when Ladybug thought Gabriel was Hawkmoth, and then he was Akimat's side, so therefore he can't be.
Yeah, true. You're
so,
right.
but actually he is. Because also that's something that I remember I thought about it too. Because I was in denial of thinking that Gabriel could be Hawkmoth. So I was like, oh, he got acclimatized, therefore he can't be Hawkmoth. Can he? Oh, well,
Plot
guess
twist.
what? You're wrong. Yep.
Yeah, but that's also a good example to show that the season had a lot of good writing. And also
definitely.
Scenes where you thought, okay, when this happens, then it's not possible that this and that will happen. And then it does. And then you're like, oh, okay, I didn't think it would turn out this way. So in a lot of episodes, I was like, okay, now this happened, and okay, then we're done. And later there was something that blew your mind, and you were like, oh, I didn't think of this.
Yeah, it had many plot twists in many of the episodes that I think many of us didn't see coming. For example, that the potions for the Kwamis, for them to become like aqua tiki and ice tiki.
Oh yes.
And all of that. And we still don't know what the other ones do.
Oh yeah, right.
And that's a intriguing thing. And for example, we were all assuming that Rena Rouge was going to be like a permanent hero, like she would keep her Kwame and her Miraculous. And
also the others, I think.
She had to give, everyone had to give it, but because they can, I think what Master Fu doesn't want is that they are like in danger of Le Papillon or Hakmat, of knowing who they are, and by keeping their Miraculouses. So that's why, well, except for Chloe, because she did it like right in front of the camera, so everyone knows.
I think it's not only that he wants to protect the people who jump in as part-time heroes, but maybe also he wants to be more careful because it was his fault why the Butterfly Miraculous and the Peacock Miraculous got lost. So maybe he's just more careful now and doesn't want to trust everyone right away. So yeah, he just wants to have the Miraculous back at the end of the day.
True. Also, he knows it's dangerous to leave all those Miraculous, around, while Hawkmoth actually wants the Miraculous of Ladybug and Chat Noir. Cat Noir.
And coming back to the powers that the heroes get, for example, in Siren, they get to transform into their sea versions or water versions, where they can breathe where they can breathe underwater, and in Frozer where they can slide on the ice. And I think these are interesting developments in the story because now we know they can power up, so to say, and as you said, I'm also curious what else there could be, because we only got to know 2 new powers, and I think there are at least 6 other
5 or 6,
I don't know, 6 other colors in the box. I'm wondering what these powers are. Maybe they can fly someday or so.
It could be. Assuming they are for each like element or something. Or it could be air. Could be another one, but that it would be flying. I can't think of anything else.
You know what? I'm wondering if they could actually combine 2 powers. So I don't know if they maybe explain that in the next season.
Like, as if they could, like, for example, for Tiki, eat 2 macarons and blend them?
Yeah, I don't know what happens when that happens. I don't know if that's actually possible, so we'll see. I don't know.
But I think it is. Why not? We don't know, like, the rules of each Kwame and each potion, so...
That's true. And we don't only get new powers in this season, but also new characters and new heroes. And I think it's actually good that we get to see new people and they mix up the dynamics between the existing characters like Kagami or Luca, who come in and mess up our love square. And also, like I said, we also get new heroes. They're not exactly new characters, but they get new sides to their persona. So I feel like these are still new characters. And I remember when everyone was like, no, I don't want new heroes. I want Ladybug and Cat Noir to be like they always were. And like you said, they always have to give back their Miraculous at the end of the day. And I think the dynamic between the 2 main heroes is still intact. So the new heroes come in to help out and they don't disturb the main dynamic between the main characters. I'm still happy that everything is still intact.
Yeah, true. Also, for example, when Reina Rouge was introduced, Cat Noir wasn't like in distress or something, or have acclimatized, or like sometimes he is or was. and they actually needed more help to create the illusion that was that, like, I don't know, like fair or carnival.
Yeah,
and,
right.
And
no one else could have made that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And by themselves they couldn't have done it. So it wasn't just because Cat Noir mostly awesome, but because they actually needed more help.
I actually find it interesting how the Lucky Charm tells Ladybug when to go to Master Fu and ask for more support or more help. Yeah.
Well, that's what it is for. It's supposed that it tells her what she needs or what. Yeah, the lucky thing, the lucky. Also, I think you feel the new superheroes are new characters because, it's a new side of their person, and their alter ego was something that we had never seen before. True. So it shows, new interaction as if they were like new people, and
I also think in that context we also were happy about the transformation scenes because we got new ones. Yeah. I always remember how back when Sailor Moon Crystal came out, everyone was like, "Oh, we got a new transformation," and it was actually the same in Miraculous now that we got new heroes, and we're like, "Oh, their transformation looks so nice."
Yeah, I love the one of Chloe. I really do. It looks very magical girl. I feel like watching Sailor Moon or Sakura caricature. I don't know. I just love it. It's like, wow. I don't know.
One of my friends, Ro994 from the Miraculous Guatemala account, actually did a Miraculous crack video, and she put in the Queen Bee transformation and put the song of Fabulous from High School Musical 2. And it was like it was made for it.
Well, yeah. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. And I was one of the persons that didn't want Chloe to be Queen Bee, but I liked how she, like, her small development, how she got, like, to the roots of her behavior, and it started. I think it started with in the whole season she slowly develops her character.
For example, in Despair Bear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's the episode where it all started.
But but also in, for example, Zombie Zoo, she apologized for not giving Miss Bustier a gift, and she, and that was like deep. She became vulnerable in order to apologize and to do like the right thing, and also that slowly starts to affect in the whole story.
Yes, that's right. And I think the main development is actually in this 3-parter that we got almost at the end of the season, where we got Queen's Battle, which contains Style Queen and Queen Wasp, but also Maledictator, because these 3 episodes are like a trilogy, and I think that's where we got to know the most about Chloe, because that's the part where her mother shows up and gets introduced, and that's the part where she gets the Be Miraculous by accident, but she does get it, and that's also the part where both her parents as well as she is akumatized. So somehow this trilogy is all about Chloe.
Yeah. We also could see where she got like most of her manners, because it was from her mom, because her mom is like that. Like, Chloe is like an exact replica of her mother.
Oh, yes.
And, it was interesting seeing her mother, and you could actually see the contrast between Chloe, because Chloe had that like soft side of feeling bad for somebody else. This like her mom that was just cold and didn't care about what the other person felt.
Yeah, I think in general the introduction of Audrey was well done, because she doesn't just show up, but there's actually a backstory, because there's this fashion show, and that's the reason why she comes to Paris again. And then you also get to know what she's like, and like you said, see where Chloe got her behavior from, and also that Chloe is actually struggling because she feels that her mom doesn't love her. Especially when Audrey tells Marinette, I can take you to New York and make a big star out of you. And Chloe gets so annoyed that she isn't picked to come with her mother.
Well, I mean, you can resonate with her because it makes sense. I mean, wouldn't you be angry if your mom preferred somebody else?
No.
Especially the person you hate the most, or you have more negative feelings towards. And she didn't pick you. She hasn't taken you to New York, and she rather take somebody else. That's heartbreaking. I mean, that's understandable. I also wanted to say how we could see that Gabriel and Audrey had met before, and we slowly are getting to know how come Adrian and Chloe got to meet each other when they were little.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's also an interesting thing.
There's a lot of backstory, actually.
Yes, I want. That's something I want to see. Yes.
And coming back to when Chloe actually used the Be Miraculous just to show her mother that she can do things as well. I do understand her intentions and her actions, but on the other hand, I was like, did her Kwame not explain her anything? Secret identity and so on?
Oh, no!
Did you not hear of it? I was so confused because I thought every Kwame explains their holder.
The rules?
The rules, yeah. And somehow either Chloe heard them but ignored them, or I don't know, maybe the Kwame is just like, no, you're my queen and I'm going to do everything that you want. So
I love how Pauline says, hello, Your Majesty.
Yeah, that's so cute.
That's so sweet. Yeah. But no, I think she perhaps she did explain because she first opens the box when she's in her room, right? Yeah, well, I don't know how come, or if she didn't say about the secret identity thing. But also, Pauline didn't really care when she opened the box in front of everyone, and
oh, that's true.
And she was just like, hello, Your Majesty, and she just got transformed.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe that's part of the Kwame's personality, that she obeys to their holder, hair holder. Is it a girl? I think it's a girl.
Yeah. Yeah, Pauline. So,
yeah. But what I also thought of is that I was very surprised that Ladybug actually wanted to give the Be Miraculous to Alia, because I thought once someone is chosen for a certain Miraculous, then they always get the same one. But I couldn't imagine Alia with a Be Miraculous, actually.
Yeah, I
so
wanted
weird.
to see that. I was curious about that. I wish you could have seen it, because we see a person with two different transformations.
Yeah, that's true.
And that. Oh, also, the interactions of Black with Marinette or Ladybug.
Oh yes.
They were gold. And how powerful Black is.
Yes, it's also something I also noticed when I rewatched the final episodes, is that the Kwamis actually can use their powers without holders.
Yeah.
For example, in Style Queen, when Adrian was captured and was turned into gold and couldn't do anything, then Plag actually used the Cataclysm himself. And I was actually very surprised that he could do it. And it was actually stronger than when Cat Noir uses it.
Yeah.
And also in the final episode, or in one of the final episodes, I think it was Catalyst, when Adrian was grabbed by Godzilla and Plag was just blowing above the floor or something, and then it cracked. So I'm very intrigued by the fact that the Kwamis can actually do something without being in the transformation or being in the Miraculous.
And it's like 10 times more powerful than...
Oh, yes.
That's mind-blowing. I wasn't expecting that. That was something I think nobody imagined.
Oh, yes, and something else. I think it was in Sandboy when the Kwamis almost told the others who their holder was, and then there were little bubbles coming out.
The bubbles!
So it's very interesting to see that they actually can't tell anyone else who their holder is.
True.
Because I think back then when season 1 came out, there were a lot of fan arts or fan fiction where people were like, yeah, and then the Kwami accidentally said the name of their holder, and somehow the reveal happened, and now we know it's not actually possible because there are bubbles coming out of their mouth.
But they know, the Kwamis know, the Black know that Marinette and Tiki knows that it's Adrian because they knew in Dark Owl. And also in that one in Sandboy, after they come out of the Miraculous box, Tiki sees that zombie creepy zombie Adrian, and he's like, "Isn't that your holder?" and Black was like, "No." But yeah, so they know, but they don't say. They don't say to each other.
They can't. They can't say it. So the trilogy gave us a lot of information, but then there's also another double episode, which is Heroes Day Part 1 and 2, Catalyst and Mayura. And first off, I have to say these are my favorite episodes of the whole season 2. I don't know about you, but these are just I feel like these are the best episodes in the whole season because I felt like every episode was better than the one before, and then we get the final episodes, and I don't know which other episode in the season could top this.
Top it? Oh, I liked more Mayura than Catalyst. I was expecting more out of Catalyst, honestly, because in Mayura, well, I don't know about you, but I had this feeling that I haven't felt since season 1, that there was like so much excitement and you didn't even think or care about what was going to happen next. It just, the plot after plot, and you just could barely breathe, and and I don't know, it was so much excitement, and I wasn't
where it wasn't so predictable anymore.
Yeah. And I was expecting Catalyst to be like way more, unpredictable than Mayura was, and it wasn't. And that was like the disappointing part.
Okay. I know, I feel like these are just one long episode because
definitely.
Mayura takes off where Catalyst stops, so I don't know if I should talk about them separately. But
no, talk about them.
In general, I think it's awesome that we get to see all the 5 heroes fighting together, but still Ladybug and Cat Noir are the ones who are left because the 3 others got akumatized again. And it's interesting to see that because a lot of fans were worried about the dynamic between the 2 changing and about new heroes taking their place, or I don't know, just changing everything, and then we see, okay, no, it's back to where we began. It's just the 2 of them against everyone. So I think it's interesting that they brought the plot there, or the storyline.
Oh, and we also saw the kind of expecting, but not expected return of Lila Volpina. And she's still being a liar, and she even lies to her mother. That's.
I was actually shocked when I saw that because I was like, okay, does her mother not have any contact with the school? Because if the school is calling her mother while Lila is not around, then she could actually take the call and talk to the headmaster and be like, oh, what? Class is starting again? Oh, I should send my daughter to school and not believe her lies. So I was actually wondering the whole season where she went.
What?
Because at the end of season 1, it was actually obvious that she's going to come back. And although
we didn't see her.
Most of the season, we were like, and where's Lila? Where has she been?
Yeah.
Has she gone back to Italy or something?
Yeah.
There she is.
Maybe she's not. She's not even. Oh well, no, she had her last name right, Rosie.
I think she's Italian.
No, yeah, but I was going to say that perhaps she isn't even Italian, and we were just like assuming because she's a liar. Oh yeah. But no, she has the last name, so that's.
Who knows?
Her proof. No, well, yeah, I don't know. I like that also not only Marinette but also Adrian knew she was lying. Because, Adrian had experienced that whole thing.
Oh, yes, that's true.
And Marinette was like, dying back there because how could everyone be so fool and believe she was saying the truth? Even the teacher.
Yeah, I was actually wondering why Alia was so annoyed at Marinette because she was like, not this again. Marinette. She's not lying. I was like, what? Alia, stick to Marinette.
Yeah,
stick with her.
Friend. But she didn't know about the whole... I knew Ladybug, and Ladybug, going when she was with Adrian and that's whole thing.
That's true.
So she's on her rights. Yeah, I know.
And something big in Mayura is actually the appearance of Mayura, which is actually only happening towards the end of the episode. And did you already think that Natalie would be Mayura? Good question.
Yeah, very good. I kind of was, but because I based myself on her face shape, I thought perhaps she wasn't, and also that she was, the secretary or the assistant of Gabriel, so therefore she was like less powerful. So there was no way that she could be Mayura because Toma had said that Mayura was like way stronger than Hawkmoth. And then like Natalie didn't have like a reason to want to willing to be that evil, or to give orders to Gabriel. So no, I kind of was, but I was also open to the idea that it was somebody else. So I wasn't certain, and I just let it come as it was. What about you?
Yeah, I also was wondering about Natalie being Mayura maybe, but I was also doubting it at the same time, because when we got the new opening of season 2, you could already see her shape. And I was, I think back then when I saw this, I was already thinking, maybe it could be Natalie because it looks kind of like her. But somehow throughout the season, I was doubting it again. And then I was like, no, maybe she is it. And then I was like, no, she can't be. And I went back and forth thinking maybe she is Mayura, maybe she isn't. And I think it's similar to how we thought Gabriel was Hawkmoth in season 1. But just this season, I was thinking this about Mayura. And at the end, it actually was her because she had access to the Miraculous, and the situation actually afforded some action on her part. So I think the time where she uses the Miraculous is very well chosen, because that's the only thing that was left for her to do at this point.
She also, I think she does it more. I try to deny this to myself because I don't want her to, but she does it more for Gabriel because she knows he needs it and how much he wants his wife to come back. So that's heartbreaking because she's like the leftover.
I don't know what your thoughts are about this, but I think maybe some people are torn between interpreting the situation as she's in love with him and that's why she helps him, or she's just very loyal to him and that's why tries to protect him. And personally, I don't know what to think anymore, because it could be that she has feelings for him, but it could also be that she's just very close friends with him and has always been there for him and doesn't want anything to happen to him or Adrian.
No, I think she's in love with him.
That would make everything more complicated.
Yeah, I know. But she also like it's complicated because she loves him like, but she also loves him in the way that she's okay as long as he's happy.
Yeah,
she's true. Even like sadder and just more heartbreaking. Yeah.
In general, I really didn't think she would use the Miraculous under these circumstances. Also that her relationship with Gabriel would be this way, whatever it is. But I never thought of her being so close to Gabriel, and never thought that she would risk her health or her life just for him to be safe.
But, you know, at first I don't know if in Simon Says or in Volpina, I think, when she tells Gabriel about Adrian going with opening the portrait of Emily. Well, you know, I think all of us, but we thought that she didn't know, and she was just like her secretary, and then they were like, okay, maybe she knows he's Hawkmoth, but she doesn't like. Oh yeah, not just that, but she knows. I don't know if she knows Naru, but she knew about the Peacock Kwame and all of that stuff, and like, wow, she has known like all the time that he's Hawkmoth. That's something that we also got the chance to know.
I think back when I watched the first episode of season 2, I was like, now that we know his real identity, we should actually rewatch the whole season 1 and watch it with the knowledge that Hawkmoth is actually Gabriel.
Yeah.
But I never got to rewatching it yet. So maybe when I'm bored, I'm going to rewatch it. And say,
even now, you know, because true. Now you have like way more information, so you will see it with a different perspective.
That's true.
Overall.
Oh, wow, that's going to be so different.
Season 3 now it's going to be more mind-blowing.
But one last thought from my side about the final episode of season 2 is something that I only just realized when I watched the episode in German, because I actually didn't understand it in French. That is that the Peacock Miraculous is actually damaged. And first I didn't understand that it was dangerous to use the Miraculous because it was damaged, because I first thought it was dangerous in general, and then was so confused, why is it more dangerous than other Miraculous? Or Miraculouses.
Miraculouses, yes.
But now that I actually watched it in my mother tongue and understand the full meaning of what Gabriel was saying, I'm like, oh, the Miraculous is damaged. How did that happen? And when did that happen? And is that the reason why Emily is in a coma now? Because she was maybe using the Peacock Miraculous that was damaged. So I don't know, maybe that's part of the reason why Emily is not gone, but definitely not conscious. And it could have happened to Natalie as well. So I'm very interested in how this is going to play out in season 3.
Definitely. Well, I made a theory of that perhaps it doesn't have a Kwame, but I didn't think of it being damaged, but it makes a lot of sense. And it isn't supposed to, because after you, well, everyone, after they use the Miraculous, they don't feel like bad or,
Exhausted.
I don't know, yeah, unhealthy or I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And Natalie was like out of her breath. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
There was a theory that do you remember RoboCop, where Black got stuck in the bracelet, in Chloe's bracelet, and then he couldn't get out, and if Adrian wanted to transform, he had to take the bracelet out, because if not, that was going to affect his powers and his transformation, and he would transform with the bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes, now I understand your thought. Yeah.
Now that you were explaining to me, I thought that perhaps when Master Fu first lost the Peacock Miraculous, that's when it got damaged, and I don't know, like it's broken or incomplete, or I don't know. And
yeah, but I'm wondering, why can it be damaged if the Miraculouses are actually indestructible? So what happened that it got damaged? That's the question here. So I think there might be a lot more of a whole backstory to it, how it got damaged.
Yeah, definitely. I'm curious about that. Well, I already said it, but how they find out, and how if Emily got to use that one, and how come, because there wasn't any evil forces, so how come they were using it? But I think it must be damaged in a way that it's like unfixable, because if not, then I think Gabriel would have done like everything in his power to make it work correctly. And yeah, I think it's because of Emily that he knows it doesn't work, because that's why Emily is in the state she is, and that's why he knows that, and Natalie could be in danger because of that.
We don't want to finish on the sad note. That's why I'm picking out the final scene of the final episode.
Okay.
Which is the best one in the episode, because we always wanted an Adrianette kiss, and it's not 100% kiss, but it's still a kiss. So it's still a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah,
and I thought it was really sweet, and I was so proud of Marinette, because
yes,
she was so brave and actually did it.
Yeah.
And I loved Arian's reaction, because he was first taken aback a bit, and then he smiled and said, "You're welcome." So I loved it, and I'm very curious about the further development in the next season.
Yeah. Oh, my heart. Yes, definitely. Well, also, I think it means more from Marinette than it was from Kagami, because Marinette, it's been his friend for a bit longer, and in Browser we could see how he developed, like, I don't know if friend feelings, but platonic feelings to her, and he actually was worried about her more than being in a date with Kagami.
I don't know if he realized that, though.
And he was in a date?
I think it was subconscious that he cared about Marinette more than about Kagami.
Oh.
During that date. And I'm not really sure that he actually realized that. I think Plag realized it. But he didn't.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I also love that Plag, like, is like so subtle about shipping him, Marinette and Adrian, because he knows that Marinette is Ladybug, so he's like, "Oh, are you sure you don't have feelings for her more than for Kagami?" He's like, "Oh no, she's just my friend."
But I think in Repost he actually says a very good friend, or was it in another episode? I think in the Origins he said she's just a friend. And in Repost or another episode, I don't know anymore, he said she's a very good friend. So it was kind of a development from good friend to very good friend.
Oh.
So let's see what happens next.
Yeah, I love that. Look at how he supported Marinette, and how somehow because of him and how he was like, go ahead. She went following the Adrian's limo, and she actually wanted to say something different than what she actually said, but it was still almost there. Almost. How Lucano is not like this guy wanted to conquer her, but he actually behaves like a friend. That's sweet.
So yeah, I'm very curious how this situation is going on in season 3.
To become, yes.
Yeah,
definitely.
And talking about expectations, I was thinking now that we finished season 2 and didn't get the actual identity reveal between Ladybug and Chat Noir, I was wondering how many people are actually annoyed at this, because so many people were saying, oh, hopefully we get the reveal in this season. And now looking back at the season, I feel like the writers are actually going to play with this theme a bit more, because we saw it in Dark Elf, for example, where they de-transformed in front of each other but closed their eyes, and also in Mayura. Also in Mayura, where they also de-transformed right beside each other, but and not seeing each other. And I think the writers are going to play a lot more with this.
Yeah, I think they're teasing us.
Yeah, and I think it's actually smart, because there's so much you can do with this. There's so much you can create stories around this theme with two people not knowing their secret identity and having this love square. I don't think they're gonna give up so soon on this. On this love square and the possibilities this situation brings.
Yes.
I think it would actually also be boring if they just find out. So I would prefer the relationship between Adrian and Marinette to develop more, or also the relationship between Ladybug and Chat Noir before they actually find out the other's secret identity, or before one of them finds out about the other's secret identity. I don't know if they find out at the same time, so I think
it would be fun if they didn't find out at the same time and one of them knew first than the other one, and then he or she would have to, or they would have to, like, keep it to themselves, because it's like, oh no, I don't know who you are. Yes, I do. No, or if they start like suspecting.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, like little things, you know. Like,
I think you can do so much with this theme or this situation. You can play so much with it, and
a lot. Yeah.
I don't know how they're gonna decide which person finds out first, but I think it's interesting that we actually got that scene where the Kwamis found out their holders' identities in Dark Owl first, because I didn't even think of it. I didn't even think that it's a possibility that the Kwamis find out and not their holders
first. Yeah.
And it's actually a good choice.
We were like, everyone was like, oh, they will find out like by themselves, you know, and then Tiki, oh, Black, oh, but no, they Kwamis find out and they can't say, and oh no, it was a very good way to go. Yeah, expectations about season 3, more way, more way to die. Oh, one thing I was expecting either from Catalyst or Mayura was a small reveal, but not from the main ship, but from, for example, Nino and Adrian. That I don't know, that Adrian would know that Nino is Carapace, or I think that would be more impressive than him knowing about Alia or something.
But I think it's somehow what we actually wanted, but for other people. Like, the fandom wants Adrian and Marinette to find out, but actually another couple found out about each other's identities. So somehow we got what we wanted, but in a different form.
A reveal? The reveal we wanted. True. They were so sweet though.
Nina was
They
so
were like,
disappointed that Alia wasn't very surprised.
no,
I was like,
I mean,
no.
you could tell she knew when
In Anansi.
Yeah, Nancy. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But
I could
it
see
was
it in
the
her
sweetest.
face. She was like,
Yeah. It was the sweetest.
So I think no matter how much we think about what could happen in season 3, it's just like season 2 where we also had assumptions and the writers always surprised us.
Yes,
So I think
definitely.
if they say they have enough material for several seasons,
Yeah.
I think they're creative enough and have enough ideas to surprise us a lot and throw in a lot of plot twists and maybe even more characters, I don't know. And yeah, a lot of backstory, I hope. And yeah, let's see how this dynamic between the peacock and the butterfly turns out, because apparently Mayura will, I don't know, maybe she will come back, because I don't think she will just leave the Miraculous there.
Yeah.
And I'm very curious to find out about this, actually.
Okay. Yeah. It will somehow surprise all of us in one way or another.
But since the identity reveal is such a big issue, do you think it will happen in season 3?
Okay, between the main ship, I think I wanted more to one of them. Just one of them, not both at the same time.
A slow development, so to say.
Yeah. And if so, then at the end of the season, not like at half of. No. From 3rd season to 4th season. Yeah, that would be a good cliffhanger.
Yeah, that's true. I think also that, like I said before, it would be more interesting to see what other options the writers try out. And if anyone finds out about the other's identity, then just like you said, I would prefer it to be at the end of the season. And I don't know, before season 2 started, I thought it would actually be possible that the identity reveal would happen in season 2, but maybe at the end of the season. But no, that didn't even happen in this season, so I feel like it's not going to happen soon.
No, I think no. I think it's good this way. I wanted the love square to be more developed, and because I need, as persons, they need to grow. Marinette and Adrian, they need to grow in order to date each other. So that's why Luca and Kagami were introduced, because there's something they need to learn in order to date each other. That's how I see it.
Yeah, that's true. And they also have to get to know each other better, I think, because I feel that Marinette might still just have that pink glasses. In German we say die rosarote Brille aufhaben, which means wearing pink glasses, so you only see the good sides of one person. And I think Marinette is still a bit more in that department, like she's not seeing Adrian in a critical way. And I think that kind of needs to change a bit first before anything serious can happen. And as for Adrian, I think we already addressed this aspect that he slowly develops more
naive
feelings for her. And he's really naive, because he actually doesn't know what's the difference between friendship and deeper love, because or romantic love, because he didn't have friends for a long time, or only had one friend, and he first had to learn what friendship means. And I think that's the main problem in his case, because he doesn't really know what is the difference between those two concepts.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they need to grow way more in order to have more perspective for them to be ready for each other somehow.
So I think there's a lot that we can look forward to. And I think it's better to not have any set
Expectations.
expectations because
And just let it
otherwise,
surprise you.
yeah, exactly.
Not
Otherwise, we would
spoil
just
yourself.
exactly. Otherwise, we would just be
Yeah.
disappointed, I think, if we expect
Yeah.
something specific. So let's just wait for season 3.
Leave your
And-
mind open and just let it come how it is, and it will
Exactly.
surprise you.
I have trust in the writers, so
Yeah.
that shouldn't be that big of a problem. And
Yep.
we'll see what happens. So
Yay!
So I think we discussed a lot of intriguing details of the season, and I'm very curious about what other people think. So everyone out there, if you have any certain thoughts about season 2, discuss it in the comments. Let us know what your opinion is on different aspects. You can not spoil us because we already watched the whole season, obviously. Also, if you liked this discussion, then please leave a like. And if you are looking forward to further podcasts, feel free to subscribe to always be up to date. And now I say thank you again, Annie, for joining my podcast. It's always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for inviting me. It was very, very deep and very nice to talk to you about this.
Yes, and I think it's also very interesting to make a review of a whole season instead of separate episodes, because you can connect different aspects of different episodes with each other.
Yeah.
So I also think this conversation was also very useful to think back at what happened in the whole season.
Yes, definitely. It helped us to realize and connect many aspects of the whole season.
So that's a wrap, everyone. And now that it's the end of 2018, we are going to leave you with the best wishes for the new year and have a good start into 2019. Happy holidays, and talk to you in the next year.
We wish you the very best. We hope you learn and grow a lot in 2019, and just love yourself.
So take care, everyone, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.